We bought the house at the beginning of last year, and although we liked its layout and its aspect, it was a small kitchen. We came from a place with a big sort of breakfast kitchen that we were used to sort of living in to some extent, and we wanted to sort of recreate that here. So we decided fairly early on that we were going to extend. How precisely, we hadn't decided at that point. And it was when I got a mail shot through the post along with my credit card bills that I saw a photo of what my mental image was of what we'd hoped to do. And there was a photo of pretty much that. I hadn't really thought of what alternatives there were, to be honest. And it was only when I got to talk to TWS and saw what their concepts were that I thought, yeah, that really works. I really like that idea, and that seems to me the way forward in construction. Much more predictable, much faster, much cleaner. Speed and convenience. I mean, there's this terrible concept, perhaps sort of deserved, that when you get the builders in, you know, they sort of bring the camp beds and the sleeping bags, and they're there for months. That was never the case here, in and out in 3 weeks. I think it's remarkable. Their offices happen to be on the way to our son and our daughter who live in that part of the world. So on one particular visit I decided to call in and just to discuss one or two aspects, and that's where I met Tony, and it quickly became apparent that because of my background and his background, we're pretty much on the same page, and so we had a sort of synergy right there and then. And it became really obvious that that was the way forward with construction. None of this on site for months, you know, mounds and mounds of earth and mess and mud everywhere. Quick surgical strike, in, get it done, out. I would think anybody who's thinking of having an extension would want exactly those things. Quick, clean, predictable. You know, what's the first thing you're going to ask? Okay, you're going to start on Monday. When will you finish? If the answer is, well, dependent on the weather, maybe in a couple of months, it's the maybe that's the tricky part there. It wasn't anything like that with TWS. It was, we'll start on this Monday and we'll finish on that Friday. And that's exactly what happened. Surveyor came out, we discussed all the various options and the various specifications, and he went away and we thought about it for a little while. The first thing was to dig out for the foundation, which is essentially three piles, three foundations, piled foundations. So 3 holes into which were put forms, and those forms were filled with concrete. And then once that occurred, a steel beam was laid across that to form the long edge, parallel to the house wall. And then another beam from each end of the foundation onto the house foundation. And then essentially there were 2 sets of ring beams. One for the inner skin and one for the outer skin. The inner skin was a preformed steel frame, including the roof, including the floor, including all the cutouts for the windows and doors, which was erected in a morning, which is astonishing. And beyond that, the outer beam was then the base from which the traditional brickwork was built up around, and then the roof went on, skylight went on, roof waterproofed, pretty much done. Building was completely secure and watertight at that point, and then the internal finishes started. Electrics are all done at the same time, so that was all happening simultaneous with other trades. They arrived, a van arrived with all the things. I think it probably took them longer to take them off the van than it did to install them. No, very quick, very professionally done. What I liked about the guys that were doing the work is that they all knew what was going on. It wasn't a case of, oh, that's not my job, mate, you know, you'll have to ask so and so. If I had a question and they couldn't answer it, they would tell me who I needed to ask to get the answer. They were all completely clued in, and they knew exactly what their function was and what would follow on from that. So they were very easy to deal with, apart from the tea and coffee consumption, of course. Well, it gives you confidence. As much as anything, it gives you confidence that you're not dealing with amateurs. They know what they're doing, but in a sense, even more importantly, they know why they're doing it. Predictable, so seamless. It really went together well. It sounds as though I'm really sort of impressed with this, and I am, because it fulfilled all the things we wanted from it. It's immediately become incorporated into the house. It's the use that we had in mind for it has been sort of validated. We wanted this big sort of dining kitchen stroke outdoor room, and that's exactly what it's become. And it's still winter. I mean, so much more to come when it's summer. In marks out of 10, definitely an 11.